Here we see two people having a conversation. They might know each other a little bit, or they might know each other well, and each of them might be coming from a certain circumstance that happened before this conversation began. And what do we know about these two people? Well, here we see that although we can't see inside this bowl, each person has experiences inside of them from the past. And if they're like most people, what they have inside is both good and bad experiences. And here we see the fellow with the same situation. We can't see inside the bowl, but we can assume that inside that person is a collection of both good and bad experiences. Now suppose that woman says something either on purpose or accidentally, and it triggers that fellow. This is always a two-step process. She says it, but he receives it and makes some meaning. Now suppose the meaning he makes triggers that negative part inside of him, and that which is sleeping now wakes up. So now he's having a very different experience inside. And suppose now, out of that new experience inside, he says something back to her. And once again, this is a two-step process. She makes meaning of what he says. Suppose the meaning that she makes this time wakes up that sleeping negative part inside of her. And now she's having a very different experience inside. And if somebody's just watching from a distance, it just might look like two people having an ordinary conversation. But for each of those two people, something very different is happening inside, because something negative has been triggered. So the woman might be appearing okay, but inside she's having this experience. And that fellow also has had something triggered, and he's having a very different experience inside. And it might feel to that woman that this fellow is attacking her, and she takes it personally. And that's going to change the image she has of him and who she's interacting with. Happily, inside of all of us, there's a wise part that can see the drama that's happening. And suppose this woman now has had a bit of practice in being aware of her own states, or maybe she's practiced a little bit of meditation, and she's got a little bit of a buffer zone around herself. And she understands that, yes, it does feel personal that I'm being attacked, but really this is because of the state that the fellow is in, and likely he was in that state maybe before I even met him today. So here's these same two people, but maybe they've had a little bit of practice and they're a little more aware and a little more kind and a little more present to their interactions. Now there's the possibility that this positive side in each of them can be triggered. So with a little more awareness, we have a better chance of things going a little more smoothly.